Let's unpack this now with Mark Dallas, who is an associate professor in cellular and molecular neuroscience at the University of Reading. He joins us live now. Thank you, Professor, for being with us on the program today. Now, around 10 million new cases of Alzheimer's disease are diagnosed every single year, making this development in both the medical and pharmaceutical industry quite significant, right?
Yes, I think this is another kind of breakthrough moment for dementia research to have this impact that to date we've never really been able to offer these kind of changes in terms of slowing down the progression of the disease. So, on the back of the kind of drug research from last year, where we got a drug approved by the FDA, and another one showing some indication that it could be in line to actually be approved as well. This is great news for the dementia community, scientific community, as well as those living with dementia today.
What specific mechanism does the new drug use to slow the progression of Alzheimer's disease, and how does this differ from the current treatments that are on the market?
Yes, that's a good question. So the current ones that are on the market are looking at symptomatic relief. The one that's been only approved in America by the FDA, the aducanumab, which has been controversial, looks to target the amyloid beta protein. And this is another target that the current drug that we're discussing today, lecanemab, targets. So we know that this amyloid beta peptide is a toxic protein that builds up in the brains of those living with dementia, and so our efforts really with these drugs and medicines is to break down those accumulations of these toxic proteins. Up until now, we've been able to do that, but we hadn't seen any of the clinical benefits that we predicted. So the game changer here is that now we're starting to see some clinical benefits to drugs which we believe to target the amyloid beta peptide.
Right, and these diseases are quite complex. What impact do you think that this discovery will have on future research and innovation, and how might this contribute to broader efforts in improving public health and quality of life for the elderly?
Yes, I mean, I think this is a significant step forward. It's not the answer. Again, there were some side effects that have been commented on previously, and this trial shows that the side effects are something that we as a scientific community and medical community need to work better at. So I think there's going to be steps to improve these medicines that are offered to make them much safer for those taking dementia medications. But also, there's the hope now that actually thinking about longer trials or starting to look at those that are at risk of dementia, there could be a possibility of changing their course of progression to going on to develop dementia, or the course when they're diagnosed with dementia, and giving them some of that quality of life back, which currently those living with dementia don't have.
And what do you hope the next step of innovations would be in future discoveries?
So I think fundamental research has led us to this point. So fundamental research should continue. And there's a lot of efforts across the globe to try and pinpoint new targets. So while the drugs we're talking about today are looking at the amyloid beta protein, what we're also thinking about is more global drugs that could target not only dementia, but other neurological conditions which have complex mechanisms that underpin the symptoms and the presentation that affects people worldwide.
All right, Mark Dallas, thank you so much for joining us here on the NewsHour and sharing that